When I first heard of this plan to rendezvous two spacecrafts by launching a second spacecraft from the same pad within 9 days, I thought it was next to impossible.
I think I'm gonna be sad. I think it's okay.
T-minus 30 seconds and counting. The astronauts have been alerted that the three valves on stage 2 that permit the oxidizer to come down into the engine compartment will be open. T-minus 30 seconds and counting. T-minus 25. T-minus 1 minute and counting. T-minus 20. The launch vehicle, first stage engines will ignite and build up some 430,000 pounds of thrust. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
Engines start. We have a liftoff at 30 minutes and about 5 seconds after the hour. Plus 10 seconds. 13 seconds. Range safety says they're go. Looking good at 20 seconds. Roll program is in. Pitch program is in. Guidance says we have proper roll and pitch. Both systems are go. "40 seconds into the flight, the vehicle is now across the beach.
Mark, 50 seconds. Roger.
Coming up on 60 seconds mark. Velocity of the vehicle is 1,300 miles an hour. It's pulling 1.9 Gs. Guidance affirms we look good. Dr. Berry is go. 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Mark, 1 plus 40.
1 minute, 40 seconds. Thrust very slightly low, as much as only about 2% low, quite acceptable.
Roger, update.
Coming up on 2 minutes. Mark 2 minutes. Our velocity is 3,600 miles per hour. The G-force is 3.3.
Roger, stage 2,
The
go.
crew reports their go for staging, which should occur in a very few seconds. Guidance says looks good for staging.
Roger, update.
2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Okay, Reentry, stand by for staging.
Roger, staging.
You see that staging?
We've got staging, stage 2 thrust, looks good. Two minutes, 50 seconds.
Roger, guidance initiate and fuel cell Delta P lights.
Borman reports the radio guidance system has locked on at 3 minutes into the flight. Velocity 7,100 miles per hour.
Delta P light out. Guidance is looking still very good here, Gemini 7.
3 minutes, 30 seconds. All of the flight controllers here passing along good flight reports. The words don't vary much at all. They all say, looks good, looks good, looks good. coming up on 4 minutes. 4 minutes into the flight, our velocity now built up to 9,200 miles per hour. The craft's alerting the controllers to stand by for a status check here. He's covered some 10 flight control positions in about 10 seconds. Each reported go. Capsule communicator Elliott C is passing the go to the crew at 4 minutes and 25 seconds into the flight. Communications are a little noisy coming to the spacecraft.
Right on, Gemini 7.
That's not unusual during the launch phase. G-force is building again up to 3.7. Our velocity, 12,800 miles per hour. We're standing by for 0.8, which is the achievement of 80% of the desired velocity, to put this 8,000-pound spacecraft into orbit.
You're right down the
5 minutes,
Gemini
20
7.
seconds. Elliott C says you're right down the slot, Gemini 7. We're standing by for a second stage cutoff. We've got it. SECO at 5 minutes, 40
Roger,
seconds.
SECO.
At the moment of second stage cutoff, the G-forces reach a max of 7.2. Flight director says we are go on the mission at 6 minutes into the flight.
That's the best sim we've had.
Borman reports he has the booster in sight, and it looks good. 7 minutes into the flight.
Our initial orbit was 87 by 177 nautical miles. This was very close to what we'd hoped for. As a matter of fact, I think that our launch vehicle was closer to nominal than any other one that's been fired. After insertion, we turned around and thrusted back toward our second stage, and then we station kept or remained with the booster. Actually, we were about 60 feet away from it for around 20 minutes. About 22 minutes into the flight, we thrusted away from our second stage and then got down to the business of a 14-day long-duration flight.
We had about 20 experiments to perform in the 2 weeks ahead, but we, of course, had to check our new suits out, and we did regular medical checkups with the surgeons on the ground.
Gemini 7 is basically a medical mission. It's the culmination of our efforts to increase or double man's exposure to the spaceflight environment, ending with a 14-day manned space flight.
Elliott C has just advised the Gemini 7 spacecraft that they're already cleaning off the pad down at the Cape, getting ready to put Wally Schirra and Tom Stafford's booster and vehicle out there.
We were continually interested in the status of Gemini 6, and I must say that Elliott C and the people at MCC kept us very well informed.
Gemini 7, your orbit is 87 by 178.
I was in the control center at Cape Kennedy watching the launch of 7, and as the spacecraft was inserted into orbit, I glanced over at another TV monitor, which showed the fixed launch vehicle being wheeled out of the hangar. So that's how fast the reaction was taking place.
The prime pilots for the Gemini 6 flight, Wally Schirra and Tom Stafford, are now on their way to Launch Complex 19 to board their spacecraft. We've gone through a complete checklist once again, and we are counting. Here we go. Go ahead, 12. We will have ignition at 0, and some 3 seconds after ignition, the launch vehicle will lift off on the start of the Gemini 6 flight.
You're cleared for takeoff.
Roger, adios. Minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Shut down, Gemini 6.
Your pressure's lowering slowly.
Roger, Gemini 6, monitor tank pressures.
Oxidizing pressure is down to about 32.
All tanks are venting.
Okay, no problem on these tanks?
Negative.
Okay, we're just sitting here breathing.
On my mark, 20 seconds. Mark. Go. 5, 4,
3, 2, 1. Ignition. Engine start. 27 seconds after the hour. Flight dynamics says the trajectory looks very good.
Roll complete.
Roger, roll.
7 places field, 5 minutes.
2 minutes. Our velocity now 3,700 miles an hour. We've got staging.
Steering looks good from here,
There it
Gemini
is.
6.
Right down the
Sure,
line.
I called it.
Looks like a bird. Attituders are all
This
zero.
looks good on stage.
Gemini 6, you are go.
Go. You hear the
This
man.
is
Go.
steering. Radio guidance has taken over. We'll yaw the vehicle slightly to the right, bring it around some 4 degrees to put it in the proper angle, and at 3 minutes into the flight, everything looks good on the ground and in the spacecraft. SECO, second stage cutoff. You can hear a little bit of applause here in this room. Deke Slayton says you can't do any better than that. And they have left the launch vehicle. Six burned 11.5 seconds in leaving the vehicle. Shiraz now calling out his incremental velocity indicator readings. And Guidance Officer Charlie Parker stands and gives a big OK signal with his right hand. This is Houston. We have an initial orbit of 87 by 141. This is being relayed up to 6 right now. 87 by 141. And as the man said, you can't come any closer than that. We have now the launch tape, which we will start at T-minus 90 seconds, carry you through the powered phase of flight.
Will be a height adjustment required due to a 7 foot per second underspeed at insertion. Gemini 6's actual apogee altitude is 140 nautical miles. The required apogee altitude is 146 nautical miles. To correct this condition, the command pilot will perform a height adjustment maneuver at the end of the first orbit using his aft-flying thrusters. Gemini 7 is now here in a 161 nautical mile circular orbit. Gemini 6 is now here 560 miles behind Gemini 7 in an orbit having an apogee of 146 nautical miles and a perigee of 87 nautical miles. In this present orbit, Gemini 6 would catch up with Gemini 7 in approximately 2 hours. To allow the rendezvous to occur as planned, the catch-up rate will be slowed by 2 maneuvers. The first maneuver will be at second apogee, applied in a posigrade direction to raise the perigee to 117 nautical miles.
At 11:25 local time, Gemini 6 spacecraft began its circularization burn. That burn was completed on schedule. The crews also have completed successfully a radar lock-on test.
And say again the range.
Range was 115.58.
All systems are looking good, flight. Tell you, he's flat flying that thing. He's just as steady as can be.
Hey, I think I've got it. Is that spacecraft 7? Negative. It's either Sirius or Gemini 7.
6 and 7 Hawaii will be standing by if you have anything for us.
300 feet. We're directly below them. 180 feet. 120 feet. Holding 120 feet, Wally.
This is Gemini Control Houston. Now we have raised the 6th spacecraft over the range tracker. Tom Stafford advises in the calmest voice I think we've ever heard that they are 120 feet apart and sitting. 120 feet apart and sitting.
And what their range is now?
About 20 feet.
Yeah, we're sitting up here playing bridge together. We're in formation with 7. Everything is go here.
Roger, congratulations. Excellent.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun. Rendezvous and docking are most essential to complete the Apollo lunar mission. Now, on this mission with Gemini 7, we in 6 came within about a foot of Gemini 7. Shortly after that, Gemini 7 maintained station on us as well. But rendezvous and docking are feasible for manned crews. Gemini 7, this is 6. We can hold it in the yaw for just a little while. We're trying to get real close and try to get all those close shots. CSQ, Gemini 6, go.
Roger. We'd like you to observe 7 on this roll procedure and let us know if you see any water coming out of 7.
This is Gemini Control. We are now 9 hours and 25 minutes into the mission of Gemini 6. And we are 267 hours and 32 minutes into the mission of Gemini 7. At the present time, both spacecraft are passing over the Pacific Ocean on their way towards the South American continent. We are in Revolution 6 for Gemini 6 and Revolution 167 for Gemini 7. Over the past 2 hours, we have accumulated some voice tapes from the worldwide NASA tracking network, and at this time, we will play back the voice communication between the 2 spacecraft and the Hawaiian tracking station on Revolution 5 and Revolution 166, respectively. Roger, Hawaii.
Gemini 7, Hawaii, Capcom. Go ahead, Hawaii 7 here. How you doing? It's great. Really outstanding. Okay, give me a readout on 2 Charlie, please. Roger, 2 Charlie, closed circuit is reading 24.8. Roger. And the answer, a little over 5, 5.5. Roger, very good. Hawaii, this is 7 here. We're going to park on the platform unless the flight has no objections and get back on the regular schedule. Leave the spacecraft in horizon scan.
Roger. We concur in that, Hawaii. We were kicking it around back here.
Okay. They say have at it. Thank you. Okay, Gemini 6, will you put your quantity feed switch to the ECSO 2 position? You got it? Okay. I'm going to do a in-plane fly around here very shortly. Roger, going to start the tape up now. Roger. We're ready to go.
Hawaii, Capcom, Houston flight.
Flight Hawaii, Capcom.
Roger. If possible, if they haven't started powering down yet, we'd like to do a purge before they power down.
Okay. There's a DCS flight. Okay, I gave you a PX7, Hawaii. Gemini 7, Hawaii, Capcom. This is 7, go. If you haven't started powering down yet, they want to schedule a purge here. Okay, we have not started, so we'll go ahead and purge. Okay, hold up a second.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, we're ready for your purge. Have at it. First, section 1. Roger. One little bubble. Boy, those windows are really bad. You get a good look at your window, Wally. It's really coated. Yeah.
Hawaii, Capcom, Houston flight.
We're lucky to flight away.
Roger, we'd like to have them stay powered up for approximately 15 minutes after the purge, then they can power down.
Roger. All right. That's a real big problem, Wally, can you tell us what's happening at all? Say again? Can you tell us?
After we completed the rendezvous maneuver, we maintained formation, actually we were station keeping, for a period of about 5.5 hours. Now this included an in-plane fly-around maneuver and an out-of-plane fly-around maneuver.
During this period of time, each of us controlled spacecraft 6 for approximately 50% of the maneuvers.
Could you move down a little bit to both report line with us? Sure, now. 6 quantity read switched off. Seven, put your quantity read switch to ECSO 2 position. Okay, just leave it there, please. Right.
Hawaii, Capcom, Houston flight.
Flight 01.
We separated from Gemini 7 at 6 p.m. Cape time. This was performed by a 9 feet per second retrograde maneuver. We separated to a distance of approximately 20 miles and performed experiments for the next 2 orbits.
The Gemini 6, RKV Capcom. How's your separation burn go? Right on, Raj. Wally says he's out to about 0.68 miles. Performed the set burn, 9 feet per second. The burn is going real well, flight.
Good morning, Captain Schirra.
Good morning, Chris.
You're doing great. Let's put it down on the elevator.
Good show down there. Before long, we'll be on the boat. Hawaii, we're in pulse mode and in reentry attitude now.
Roger.
During the drift off, Frank and Jim, we'll see you on the beach.
Okay, Wally.
Let's go to recovery.
It was an excellent splashdown, and half an hour later, millions of television viewers watched as the captain brought his huge ship gently alongside.
It was really a treat to come back aboard in style on number 3 elevator. To have the realization that to accomplish a lunar mission, we had to prove endurance, and we're still proving it now, and to effect rendezvous. Rendezvous is so important to bring our men back from the surface of the moon and back to the Earth, and I hope also to number 3 elevator.
Meanwhile, Gemini 7 goes on, round and round the Earth, slowly clocking up its required 206 orbits.
We'd been in the water about 10 minutes when we saw a Navy frogman's face in the right window. He plugged in his interphone, and his first words were, "Merry Christmas."
The recovery forces were quite fast, and I believe in about 26 minutes from splashdown, we were on board the helicopter. The chief symptom, in fact, the only symptom which we noticed, was heaviness of the legs. That's all.
The 14-day mission has shown us that man indeed adapts to the spaceflight environment, that his body does not show changes which increase with his increasing exposure to that environment. The additional data allows us to medically commit man to a lunar mission.
Their voyage will be a continuous reminder that the peaceful conquest of space is the only conquest in which modern man can proudly and profitably engage. In this struggle, all men are allies, and the only enemy is the hostile environment. The victory over the final enemy will belong not just to Americans, but to the whole world.